There we go. Okay. So I had to restart everything because it was doing some wonky stuff. I hope it doesn't keep doing that. Although my power did go off earlier today and then come back on. It was a little like odd, like the entire place, So we shall see. But before, what I was doing was I was like, oh, my son left something on my desk, right? A little Lego man, and it's got a freaking camera, dudes. Like it's a cameraman for like a movie, and he's like filming something, and I don't know why it struck me as like something that seemed significant, like it wasn't an accident, like because the fact that I even noticed it was over here, like in the little, he puts little things on my desk all the time. And I was like, and he plays with Legos in here, so but of all the ones, and this one's actually put together completely all the way. So okay, look at this, a cameraman. Because I was like, oh look at he's in the. I started playing with it, and I was like, I don't know why that felt important. So I'm highlighting it so that you know. Okay, so I don't have my coffee today. I have matcha because I already had coffee this morning because I needed coffee to get me going, take my kids to school. So today, and can I just say I have been visited by some very significant birds, and you all know birds are my thing. They're my animals. They're my babies. I have a million feathers all over the place right here, and they're always significant. Like I always ask a question when I'm walking or going and doing something, and it's like this ends up being like a sign. I'll ask for a specific one. This is a turkey feather. This one's a barred owl, which is the owl is my spirit animal. Just saying. I was at my sister's, and this yellow one, which I've never had a yellow one, like, anytime. Here's another little baby owl feather, right? Like I have a million of feathers over here. So today, it's almost Christmas. In fact, it's getting close to, for those who have been with me for a while know, I started this channel while I was taking care of my father, who is very ill. And he passed away as I was doing things with this channel. And that kind of like had its own cascade of things afterwards, where I was having to take care of my mom and stuff, or help her get things prepared. We sold the house, all kinds of stuff. So in that time frame, and I know I'm telling this for a reason, and I guess it's significant, or it will be for somebody. So the reason why I'm saying, like, birds have been showing up this morning very specifically for me. Before my father passed, we had a flock of very specific red cardinals out front in our yard. And for me, that's our family members. That's passed on loved ones. And the fact that we had like a cascade of masculines in my family pass away. Over the course of a 2-year period, we had 5, 6. And we pretty much had, mostly with the exception of one, feminines left. Meaning from like my age range and up, right? So my sons, like any of the younger ones, well, that's not true. A few of them passed away as well. So I had 2 of my cousins. My uncle had passed away previously. 3 of my cousins. I was about to say Adam, and I'm like, he's more my age. They're like, but they're still my cousins. Yeah, my father and another one, and of course my father's brother had passed away prior. I wasn't very close with him, but so it was one of those things where it was like we were just losing people left and right from my family, and we had like all these red cardinals waiting. It was like, in the last bit of and it was just funny because you don't usually see a huge flock like that, specifically of male. These are male cardinals. The bright red is the male cardinal, right? And so all of them were out in the front yard, and they were constantly around. And as soon as my father passed, none. Like they didn't return. We didn't have that many. And this lasted, like the thing is it lasted into like a February timeframe. And generally speaking, while we can keep some of them around and it is our state bird, it's one of those things where, first off, you don't usually have that many in one particular yard and they stay there all for like months on end. So it was really significant in that. And then of course, on top of that, they stayed even during the winter, which was even more weird. And then they were gone as soon as he had passed. And it wasn't like a month or so after that it was spring, and me and my son would sit out on the front porch, and there was one cardinal that always would come near us. And it's like, it was the only one that was in our yard, period. And it was like, having gone from, like, I'm talking like anywhere from 8 to 9 red cardinals out in our yard, on our deck, on all kinds of things. And so we got to a point where we'd always sit outside in the evening or early in the morning, and we would, I would have my coffee, he'd do something, he'd have his tablet. Hey, Manishka. And so we would always like get really quiet because the cardinal was coming up. And he would sit next to us. Like, he'd come up on something and sit next to us, which I've never experienced. I've never had a red cardinal, get that close and not be like scared away easily or anything like that. So he would sit on the deck with us. Like, he would always visit every single time we were outside. And sometimes it took, like, he would like be watching us, and he'd either come towards my son or he'd come towards me. And so we started saying, that's Pop Pop, because when you go from a bunch of cardinals, which is the family who was waiting for him to cross, to one, because there was no need for them to be there to help him cross over. We always said that was my father. So this morning, freezing cold outside, it got really weird because, I had been seeing signs of my dad around and things like that. And then I went through like a period of time where it was like, and here's the thing, if we ever had one red cardinal come near us or do something, we would always say that was my father. That was my father. And they would always do weird shit. Like, I had a cardinal land on the road. Okay. And I'm trying to drive down my road, and I'm like, what is this? Like that cardinal was like, you're going to see me. I'm making my the kind of like, do you have a death wish? Because I need to get by. Like, are you gonna fly off with the fuck? I had to slow down real slow, and I promise you, within 2 feet, and then the bird takes off, and I was like, what the? Had one waiting in my driveway one time, and then the number of times my son and I have been in the car, specifically my oldest, the 19-year-old, where one red cardinal will fly, like, we're driving in the car and will barely miss my windshield, and I'm like, of all the birds, what the, and it's almost like, so we've kind of had a period of time where we haven't really been seeing anything, and it's freezing cold out. Wouldn't be the normal time to see a red cardinal. It's been a good hot minute. It's getting close to my father's birthday. And suddenly he popped up. I get home this morning and there's a red cardinal. So I'm saying this because it's almost like, and it felt because he brought with him some very specific birds. Specifically a blue jay. I say blue jays are for like soul connections. And I know that we talked about this before. And at first I was just paying attention to the cardinal, literally the tree right in front of my house, sitting there. I'm up underneath it and I'm looking at the cardinal, and he's not going anywhere. And I'm taking pictures and everything. I'm like, hey, Dad, and all that kind of stuff. It just was shocking. When you go, it was one of those things, even though that's my signal for my father's close, but I hadn't seen one for so long. So next to him was a blue jay. And I'm looking and I'm like, as if my dad is announcing, because it felt very messenger-like. Like he's not been around for quite some time. And it's almost like he shows up and then the blue jay does. Like he's wanting to highlight that for me. Or I even was like, is this like, and again, I've always felt a blue jay was soul connections, soul level connections. And I'm like, are you saying that there's somebody coming in, that there's a stamp of approval? I'm not very open. And so to the idea of like, I'm just not right now. I'm not even drawn to it. I got to be honest with you. And so for him to show up. So obviously I haven't started on my reading just yet, but I'm bringing all this information because it felt very, you step out of the car and you're just in your little, and I was like, I wasn't anticipating. I wasn't expecting it. And it took me by surprise. And so as I'm looking at the cardinal, because I'm admiring it, I want to take a picture to show my children, look, hey, Pop Pop has showed up, because we've had some very weird things happen. It's always one One since he passed. And so it's one of those things where, and they always do something where we're like, what the, kind of thing. And it's just, to me, that's how he says, hey, I'm here, I'm present, I'm around, I'm making you aware. But for the blue jay to show up, and what's funny is generally blue jays, there's two of them together. Like they partner for life. You're going to always see them in twos, okay? For the most part, there wasn't another one. It was like he was bringing this blue jay in. So it felt very, and for those who didn't see the very, very beginning, I tried to start this earlier and YouTube was doing something weird where nothing, like nobody was joining. And I was like, there's always at least one person, even if they're just curious. So I had to restart everything. I had noticed over here, my son had put one of his Legos. He plays his Legos in here, right? And it's just so happened, I picked it up, I was like, oh, look. And I was telling the camera, I was like, oh, it's a cameraman, like for a movie, like a celebrity, like I don't know, maybe somebody's in the spotlight or something's being highlighted or something. It was just really weird. It took me aback a little bit. I was like, he's a cameraman for that's like a movie camera. Like, you go and you're like filming as everybody's moving. Anyway, I don't know how that's going to play in, but as soon as I picked it up and I was like, oh, it's a cameraman. You see how all these little things today have like taken me by surprise? Like there's just little things where I'm like, I'm in a zone. I'm not paying attention. It's not, and I don't know why that would take me by surprise. First off, it was perfectly put together, which he doesn't usually do. There's always like pieces missing and stuff like that. He's still learning. But it was like he left it on my desk for me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, okay. And I don't know, it felt weird. It felt purposeful. And I'm not always a person that's like, oh, that means something. Anyways, so that being said, like little things are grabbing my attention. Let's put it that way. And I feel like that probably more than anything has something, like when you start picking up on little signals and you're like, okay. Anywho, hey Terry, hey Cappy. Hey, Kelsey. So that's my story. I need to make sure I put a timestamp in here so people who want to actually watch the reading can skip over that little stuff. I mean, I ranted for a little bit, but Pooh Bear's back. FYI. Oh. Okay. Okay. Because that one cardinal bringing the one blue jay means that one blue jay. Where's that blue jay's partner at? You ever feel like I know some of us have had this where we sometimes feel like passed on loved ones are playing a role in something on the other side. And that's the first sign I've had. I swear to fucking God, I'm going to shit a fucking brick. At the corner of my eyes, I'm just trying to split the fucking deck so I can shuffle love. I think there's going to be a theme today. And if the cameraman means anything, I feel like it is going to, it's some kind of public, I heard public display. Something becomes, or people will see something happen. So if you don't want to hear about love, because I'm feeling like that's going to be a message today. That's a message. I feel like that's heavily going to, because they're also pulling me to the Tarot of Sexual Magic, which if you're not 18, goodbye. This message is not for you. So yeah, there you go. Okay. I don't know why, but that is weird. I've not personally yet in my life had any kind of synchronicity that would make me think love's coming in for me, right? We've got good fortune and friendship. Ooh, fate has blocked this path for you. Okay, so I don't think that has anything to do with the good fortune. I think it has everything to do with friendship. I am getting some sense of like a person that already exists in your life that like as an like as a romantic option that's been blocked. So I feel this is a little bit like FYI. If you were going, I wonder if it's no, mm-mm, mm-mm, no. For whoever this reading is for, you may have either. I get the sense that either you've wondered if somebody was it. Sorry, I'm they. I have to follow the energy when it starts. Either you wondered, like you're like I like. Oh, some of y'all are worried. Like I swear to God, if somebody from the past come in, you're like, Um, but also I feel like an existing person. This is the way that they're showing it to me, like an existing person or someone that you may know. Like it feels like some kind of burden has been placed, a distraction in that path, so that either one like you see something, there's certain times people will approach you and you're like, um, not that people don't deserve to have someone support them and hold space, but when things are a shit show and you're like, you can keep that over there. I don't want. So something has occurred. I want to say it feels like it's a burden, some kind of a burden. So either some like some difficulty in their life, either distracting them from coming to you, or you. It's like they're walking with their red flag because of this. Like something has happened in their life, and it's like a beacon of fuck no. Um, so it completely just turns you off. And I'm going because I'm like, are we sure that nobody? This is me. Are we sure nobody from the past is coming? Because that almost feels like maybe somebody wants to come towards you, or says something or flirts with you. Somebody in an existing social network. They just said old social network. So I don't know. Maybe this is like a group of people that spirit's pulling you away from. Um, but they won't let me say it's not necessarily an old love for whatever reason. I'm like, okay. So this whittles it down for us. If you feel or know or feel like you're being guided and given information on that a particular person that you have had relations with before is the prospect, it feels like there is a heavy burden in the path between the two of you, and that will prevent something. It acts as a hindrance to the two of you. So however that plays out, whatever. And I'm not getting that this is somebody that someone's currently involved with. It's more like within your network of people. Forces beyond your control intervene. That just tells me, I think that they're answering when I was like, if you was hoping, I feel like they're like, not anymore. Nope. It's a nope. It's a nope. Mm-hmm. All right, hold on. And that's the hand of fate right here. And here's the thing, the slight difference between fate and destiny is fate has a lot to do with what we actually choose to do, the path, our choices that we make, the actions that we take, the development and the evolution that we take really determine that's our fate. Because we can have something that's really meant for us, that's destined for us, but if our actions don't align with that and don't take us towards that, our fate can be something completely different. And so this to me says that, and again, it's like I feel like there's been a burden or some kind of something heavy that that requires them to like it diverts their attention and focus and things like that, and may look like a big fat fucking red flag for you. Or maybe that's been it up to this point. But this does say forces beyond your control intervene. Okay, this makes sense. So I was, because I was like, are we sure? And they're like, I still get the very feeling like there is a definitive blockage. But I can't say with it being on this side that maybe that's what's been happening up to this point. Because also when the hand of fate intervenes, well, see, it's like fate has led you to this place, but now forces beyond your control intervene. I want to know more about that. This is curious. Okay. I don't know if that was meant to come out, but we're going to. Now this, okay. Let's just recap. Something else, some other type of connection, something that's already in your social network, somebody you already had your eye on, or you thought, I wonder, or was hoping for, or maybe whatever. There were hindrances. It may still currently be in play, okay? And could have been in play. And now shit's about to change, like other things intervene. This again, that heavy burden could be just something that happened in their life, and so it's like that's the intervention. Like, I mean, shit happens, and people's courses change and things like that. It does feel a little bit like purposeful and intentional that occurred. Yeah, it's just the hand of fate, they're saying, and then fate has blocked this path for you. Like it's choices, decisions, actions, like whether or not you felt like somebody was for you, there have been things that have blocked you. Um and have distracted and served as, oh my god, I'm sorry. The blue jay is right here. I just myself. Okay, now spirit, okay. So this is going to go a couple of paths, all right? And I'm just going to read it as path because I am still getting heavy for some people. There's a person that's being blocked intentionally because it's just not in alignment. It's not good. It's not going to happen because of choices and decisions that they've made. It actually would hinder things, and it's like this is a path. It's been blocked, like shit's, and so it's just not going to happen. I also feel simultaneously there's been a blockage in regards to a connection. And they're saying like it feels like now maybe something intervenes on that blockage, like whatever the choices and decisions and whatever was in the path that was blocking the way may now be, what I'm saying, there may be a something that intervenes to change the course of things. So like if there has been something in someone's life that has really, let's use my father's passing and things like that. Let's say that was something that was an issue and I couldn't really get past it. And so a connection couldn't have been made because focus was elsewhere. It would be like now I am not in that space. I'm beyond the grieving period. I am beyond getting settled. I am beyond that kind of stuff, right? So now would be the appropriate time. There were things in life, fate, choices, decisions, and it was my decision to stay and help with my father, whereas I could have moved out. We could have placed him somewhere, but I felt like I wanted to stay until he had passed. And that meant more to me. And so maybe things could have happened or connections could have happened prior to that. But because of a choice, actions, fate, my fate led me on a detour. So there's two groups I'm getting here. Yeah, because the unicorn is like that special something, right? It's not like every other horse. It's not like every other animal. This is like the wishful thinking, like the like your dream version of somebody. And again, that could be somebody that you specifically hold very dear. You could have, um so for some that person's not going to happen, and for others it was blocked, and now whatever the block is has been removed, and so things are going to be rearranged. Well, that's two different trajectories that we're going now. Okay, because initially I could feel right away there are some people where whoever you were thinking, maybe you were worried somebody was going to try to approach you and you're like, no, God, please, or like, I just want to get over somebody. Like, don't worry, there's a definite group of people that whoever is in existence. The funny thing is, for both groups, I get the energy of having an existing expectation. Like, I want to say either you knew specifically a person, or you knew specifically, like, sometimes people will have like this feeling like my person's coming, and you kind of already know certain aspects of it. Like I know that they it's probably somebody that's well traveled, and you've felt that energy around you for quite some time. So you had this very specific understanding of somebody, because that's, to me, that's where the friendship thing is. It's like an existing energy already. So look at this. And then on this side, this is where it's curious, and we're going to be pulling cards, okay? Because we have authority and diplomacy. Okay. This is Emperor energy. I didn't fucking pay attention when I pulled the card out. The King. That's Emperor energy. What the fuck? Authority and diplomacy. But and then passion and romance await. And the Sphinx. Choose your words carefully. This is the curious one. I get the energy from this, like, be careful not to cut something off too quickly, meaning like if an opportunity occurs, like if you come across somebody and they're very interested in you, and you right out the gate are like, God, in general conversation, like, oh my God, yeah, I know, I can't stand it when people constantly hit on me and blah, blah, blah. It's so stupid. I don't know, it's saying something stupid. It's like you might inadvertently put up a wall or give the wrong impression or give the wrong signals. Like, don't say something you don't actually mean. That's the energy of it. But we'll pull cards. We'll find out. Sorry, guys. Oh, for the love of God, you're pissing me off. Okay. I still get the energy, like I feel like somebody is being blocked so this other person can come in. They just gave me something. I don't even think with this, like in this scenario where people, like someone's being blocked so a new person can come in, like an existing person. I wonder if we're gonna get back together, or I wonder if this person really likes me, or I don't know. I wonder why. Blah, blah, blah. So for me, with this one, it feels a little bit like if that person enters in prior to this person presenting themselves, then it's almost like it elicits a lot of the old energy of you being like, God, I was fucked over, and why did it take so long? And how come like it puts you in an energy of non-receptivity, because you're gonna you're gonna see the red flags. You're like, but it's also gonna like elicit old memory and bring up things where you're like, ugh, like they want you in a receptive mood, in a receptive state. And so that person, like something, a burden, I think that's what they're talking about, is being, okay, things are making sense. Like it's something's happening to keep that person at bay so this other person can enter in. I feel that very heavily. And there's still the energy of, I can't say that someone who was blocked before isn't coming in, but this one is stepping forward and feels more pronounced. And that's what I felt at the beginning. But they kept giving me these little scenarios, and it's like, okay, but so I think there's a large energy of somebody from the past being stopped so that you're open to this new person coming in. I don't feel like that's going to permanently stop the other person. But it's funny because, when you have an emperor walk in, when the fuck face comes back, and like whoever this is, got shit going on, got red flags, isn't totally with it just yet. And it's like there's a stark contrast because now you're like, holy, like whoever this is, it's like, and so when you look over here, that's when you really like, like if the person were to come in after this person, after the king, the emperor, then you're going to be like, what the fuck? Like you think coming in like that with this shit show of whatever's going on in your line, what you're doing and everything else like that is going to pull me away from this. So there's but had they come in prior, it would have put you in a more guarded state. Okay. And the thing that I really like is on the Sphinx, you've got this symbol, which is for Bast. Or some people call it Bastet. I call her Bast. The deity. And Bast, for me, helps to keep my protective circle around me. So I work with her to ensure that my spirit team is not like infiltrated with energies that would create obstruction, complications with my channel, things like that, right? So because there's protecting me and my energy, and then there is that level of like my circle, my spirit team. They always encircle me, you know what I mean? And so for me, this is like there's a little bit of like that just reminds me of her. Maybe there's a protection of like your circle around you, like maybe in real life. It's just funny that she's showing up. And I'm still curious as to what that fucking means. I gotta be honest with you. Choose your words carefully. Because I think there's more to it. Let's find out what's going on. Just for everybody, FYI, Tarot of Sexual Magic has boobies, butt cracks, and sex positions. If you don't like that, then maybe you shouldn't be here. Okay. Okay. I feel like this is what I just said to you all. I swear to God. 9 of Wands, which is putting up your guard, that protection, that whatever it is. 8 of Cups, walking away from something, right? Leaving something behind that you thought was for you, but it's not. And then the 10 of Swords. This feels like what that person's going to see. Because in this one, first off, 9 of Wands is protection of the self. Standing in your power, knowing your worth, and doing everything that you need to do to make sure. It is putting a guard up to a certain degree. But in this 8 of Chalices, we've got a masculine coming in and a feminine pulling away. I feel like whoever is this, that's the reason why they're the primary one. I would try to touch both groups, but this one is whoever this other energy is. I don't mean to sound, I'm not usually one of these people that does these kind of love readings where it's like, this person left and they did this and this and they're coming back. No. Who give a fuck? He can stay gone. Like, I don't do that, but they're talking about it for a reason. There was a lot of pain. Like, it took a lot for you to choose you over this person. And in the fucking meantime, can I just say, not only did your candle go out, but this a-hole is back here doing all kinds of stuff with other people. That's, and look at this. So whoever this is, it's like you had to literally take time, that you had to choose you had to put up your boundaries. I feel like the 9 of Wands is you establishing your fucking boundaries with them or upholding them. Even if you never dated, but there was like this flirtation and things like you couldn't go there with them, because this is a person from your past. This is somebody that's been in your circle. But it's like, whatever reason, you had to say no because of your boundaries. And you had to walk away from it, even if you may have wanted it. And in the meantime, that shit, first off, it fucking hurt. You didn't speak on it, whatever it is. The sword's pointed down. And in the meantime, you had to heal yourself. You had to like let go of certain expectations and thoughts and things like that. Like that kind of hurt. It fucking hurt. And in the meantime, they're out doing whatever the fuck. Like either if you dated this person, they act like they didn't get hurt, or while you're actually fortifying yourself and you were in this fucking hermit mode and you were taking care of yourself and you were, honoring yourself, loving the self, all that kind of stuff. Like, like it's easy to hop from one person to the person, the person, the person, the person. We've all had that time in our life where we dated around and it wasn't really serious and we didn't, that kind of stuff. But there comes a time when it's like, okay, I need to focus on me. Okay. And so instead of them doing that goddamn shit, there was that play in the fucking field. So whatever this is, look at this. She even has the mirror. She did a lot of self-reflection. She didn't speak on it. She didn't tell people. She didn't like say anything to them. So there was probably a lot of silence. You didn't speak to them, but you were aware of what the fuck they were doing. You know and have heard things. And it's like, but you had to choose you. Okay. But I also get the feeling that this is going to be them also. Like there's going to be a witnessing the camera. I get it. So this person is going to, it's not just this person, they said. It's funny. They are going to see you connect with somebody else. You're going to connect with somebody else and they're going to see it. Just like you had to while you were working on yourself. And sometimes it was very fucking difficult to focus on you because you're like, why does, like, how do they have that kind of fucking impact on me when obviously nothing, like they've got nothing on their end. Okay. Well, okay. I'm doing one of them readings, guys. I was not anticipating this shit. I'm just going wow. Ooh. I like this. Bitch. I swear to fucking God, we're going to put this over here because it's facing down. I like this. Okay, so this is going on the king's side of things, okay? Because we got the kings. I know you can't see all the cards. Maybe I should pull them down so you can see them. The king is over here. This is the hindrance. This is the blocked path. This is the something happened, right? To prevent something from coming together. And you may have, and here's the thing. I feel like whoever this is, you probably still once in a while wonder or think. You may have heard other tarot readings where like somebody from the past and you're like, fuck no, it better not. This mother, I know who, he better not, spirit. God, like the audacity of this fucker to walk the fuck, what the fuck? And so, but Spirit's like, it's okay. We're putting this motherfucker on pause real quick. Okay? Pause. And in walks the fucking King of Cups. Oh, look at the emotionally available motherfucker who doesn't just pour his cup into anything. He doesn't sit there and pretend like he loves somebody or likes somebody. He doesn't sit there and give lip service because he's, first off, you don't become the King of Cups by pouring your fucking cup into everybody else. Every Joe Schmo. Like, his cup is precious. And when you're the king, you have a level of discernment. You don't fucking put that emotion into just anybody. Period, point blank. So he ain't gonna say something he doesn't mean. He ain't gonna pursue something that he doesn't feel. He's not, not at all. No, but he does have a depth of emotion. This is somebody that when you do connect, he has a level of emotional maturity and emotional articulation that's just, There's a level of vulnerability. Take a look at him. Take a look at him. Nurturing. But and here's the thing. People always say you can't always tell everything, the depth of his emotion. Well, he's a king. That's why. We've got authority and diplomacy. He may at first come across very, you know what I'm saying? Which may be the reason why they're like, be careful of what you say, because or maybe even what you say to yourself, what you tell yourself about this person. Just because he presents right from the get-go as somebody who is being very, I heard straight-laced. Like he may be the one that's really, oh, he's very articulate. I just said that. He may choose his words wisely. I get the sense of like he's speaking to you. Like he may really fucking like you, but not. He's not gonna sit there. He's not the other people. So whereas the other, oh, okay, bitches. All right, here we go. Remember the story I told you about that Friday night where I was like, oh, we were having fun, me and my friend, and like these guys approached and everything. And so we were chit chatting, right? And this dude told me in the span of maybe 20 minutes, at least 10 times how cute I was. And he started getting in my face. Like, and he wasn't super drunk. You could tell he wasn't. And so he's like getting in my face, and I'm sitting at the table and I'm like, I didn't even invite him into my space. He's at this point talking to me like this, and I'm over here going like this to try and see him. Because, bitch, I'm old and my eyeballs can't focus. What the fuck are you doing? And then he decides he's going to touch my face. I'm like, oh, I don't know where your hand's been. And, like, even my friends started going, oh, my God. Like, it was kind of grody. You know what I mean? And, yeah, I can tell that you like me. This person is going to have a conversation with you, talk to you, and you may walk away from it going, first off, I like that person. We connected intellectually, but like, I don't think that they're going to come across like some of these yahoos out here who laid on thick. Because a lot of those other motherfuckers, they say all that shit because it's lip service. They love bomb you and do all kinds of weird shit just to, you know what I mean? And it's like to get your attention. And this guy is like, this guy, I say guy because it's a king. Obviously, when you're in the emperor energy and the king energy, that has not a fucking thing to do with gender or anything like that. But for the purposes of the cards that I'm dealing with, that's why I'm saying it like that. And we have been dealing with and talking about the feminine energies right now. And this feels like something coming in for those who are operating out of their feminine energy. And so for me, it's like, you're not going to get that from this person. So, but they will romance you. God, this reminds me of the motherfucker who, instead of like saying all the cutesy little things or all the whatever things, like their mere fucking presence in front of you and the way they look at you makes you go, oh shit. Okay. I felt things. I felt something. That smoldering, those motherfuckers that can sit there and like, and because you're talking to them, they look you straight in your fucking eye and they're very serious and they're focused in on only you. Like, I don't need someone tell me 20 million times how cute I am and like trying to get all like, ooh, and like, I don't know, some weird shit. Like, this motherfucker shows me he's interested because he's zeroed in on me. And he hears what I'm saying. And there's exceptional conversation. And like, there's just sense of like, he might undress you with his eyes, but he ain't gonna say it. So you might walk away going, okay, I'm used to guys like doing all this shit where you're like, okay, I can tell, but and you might walk away going, I don't know, should I call him? Like, like you might be afraid to ask for his number. This is the kind of guy that would ask for your number, ask you for permission. Would you be okay if I gave you a call? I'd love to, that kind of thing. At the end of the conversation, when you were like, you may have really connected on an intellectual level, you may have connected in other ways, and you may have thought he's hot as fuck, but like seriously, like there wasn't the old telltale signs. That's how he is. That's the way this person is. And I guarantee you, he's the kind of person who has like all the feminines coming up doing all the stupid dumb shit to try and get his attention, right? and he doesn't pay them no mind. And he may come across as very authoritative and diplomatic, like he's almost, this stoic, like he doesn't engage on that level. Oh my God, that is so hot. I mean, don't get me wrong. Once I get to know you, if you're not smacking my ass and saying stupid shit to me, but for crying out loud, when you first show up, know what I mean? Know what I mean? Yeah, that's that kind of energy. Okay, and I know traditionally, the Ten of Wands can sometimes feel like, oh my God, such a burden, right? But we always got to remember the 10 goes to the ace, right? So the 10 is the end of those burdens, right? And so we have the 10 of Wands here. And it's my favorite one in this deck. We're about to get dirty, guys, okay? I'm as dirty as this deck. Deck. D-E-C-K. Okay? Okay. For those who know, they know. So this is the 10 of Wands in this deck. I want you to take a look at this. Oh my God. Hello. He hoisted her up. First off, you can tell that she's every bit, like she's no petite thing. She's probably every bit his size or his height and things like that. And he's done hoisted her up, right? Mid-air. Because he ain't leaning on anything. He's holding her. Look at the stability. Look at him bending his knee. How? And they do in the deed, y'all. A man that can stand in the middle of a room or a forest, which is my nature kink, y'all know me. Oh my God, that's another reason why. But in the middle of a forest without any help or support and can thrust and hold me up and never drop me and I can just release and enjoy. Are you shitting me? Yeah, see, he's so fucking stable. He's here to help hold her up. You don't have to do this on your own. This is somebody so well established in their energy, so well established in their own power and their own authority. Like, you don't have to do this anymore. First off, you don't have to be worried. She's not worried. She's not worried. He ain't dropping me. You know the motherfuckers where you're like, they want to try and do something like that, and you're like, I don't know if that's a good idea, dude. I don't think you can. He can. He can. He can. This one can. Yeah. This one is, it's like, I don't have, like, you're not going to do it on your own. Like, they will match your strength. Do you know how much strength it took and love of self it took to do what you did? It's easy to just to stay in the game and to stay doing things so you don't feel like you're being abandoned or that you're being left out, to fill the time. No, you took the time that you fucking needed is what you did. And you watch. Oh, that was the past reading. Oh my God. Remember when I said somebody else is going into their winter and you're going into your spring, things are going to bloom and they get to watch you now while you've been watching other motherfuckers? Oh, I love it when readings come together. Go back to some of the other coffee and tarots. So this is literally like, so this past person held in place, they're going to see you move on. Like, shit's going to happen for you. That's what they were trying. Can I just say, all along, they were just going to hop from place to place, person to person. What, you can't see it. You can't see, like, there's a person back here in this little window. And so it's literally like, and you're like, how did they get, if they're a-hole, you're like, how do they get all of these, da-da-da, and how come they get to be happy, and how, and you're over here having to work on yourself. Well, guess what? That heavy burden, yeah. There's something about it, like, well, they have to work on their shit show because they didn't before. And you're going to be able to see it, like, plain as day. Like, oh my God. Red flag city, fuck me, no, get away. That's how, like, you're going to see it, but you get to enjoy this. Enjoy this. Like, the level of, like, this person, you're not having to do it on your own. The other person couldn't help you. They had lip service. They could tell you everything that they wanted to, like, we wanted to hear, but they couldn't fucking show the fuck up. Period. Whether you ever got to the place of relationship or not, they fucking couldn't. And I feel like this may have been a pattern for you, but this person, for some reason, sticks out in your mind. Because I feel like maybe when you encountered this person, you thought you knew better. and that you wouldn't have to go through that again. And when you did, and really what it was it wasn't, oh, spirit tested you. I don't like that kind of stuff. It was testing. It was testing, but it was literally like, just because you garner the discernment doesn't mean shit doesn't still come your way. Now that you have the fucking discernment, you get to make the choices and decisions like you should have been making all along. And you did. You fucking walked away. You chose you. And that in and of itself was painful. No one said it would be easy, right? Once you've learned your lessons and you've got the discernment, it doesn't, over time, choosing you repetitively will become easier, but it doesn't make it easy per se. So you go from not having to have your walls up and being cautious and guarded to really being able to trust that somebody's here reciprocal, that there's a strong enough foundation, that they're strong enough emotionally to be in this relationship, to be in this romance. That when they're called to task to be vulnerable, they don't run. And that when you are vulnerable, they don't run. Because we've seen them motherfuckers too. As soon as you get real with somebody, oh no, it's not okay. Like the strength, like you don't got to do it anymore. This is reciprocity. You don't have to fucking do it alone anymore. You got the Hierophant. This is long-term spiritual level soul connection, soul recognition type of stuff. This is like we were talking about the other day, where it's like you can only meet somebody as deeply as they've met themselves. Like this is going deep, okay? And it will end up with longevity. Like this is committing long-term, wanting a higher level of commitment. This person coming in has the capacity to support you the way that you want to be supported. Can be so much so that you don't feel like you have to stay in your masculine energy. You feel safe enough to retreat, to indulge in your feminine energy and to stay there, to be in that receiving mode. Okay, what is this one? Ooh, bitch. Okay, that's a new one. I'm gonna be honest with you. This had landed like here. Remember, like there was the two sides, and it landed over here, and I grabbed it and put it over here. What did I say about somebody has to watch you? Did I say that? I think I said that. I think I even related to a past reading that said, "Oh my gosh, while you're going into your spring, somebody's going into their winter." Do you know what this is? It's the Knave of Swords, which is the Page of Swords, which is the person that sits there and watches and gathers information and things like that. This is the person that, yeah. And first and foremost here, we've got the sword pointing down, which means things aren't being communicated at this point. So it's almost like somebody else gets to see you do well, like get exactly what you deserve. It's almost like your karma comes in, your justice comes in. It's like that past partner that wants to tell you nobody's going to want you for X, Y, and Z, and you up-leveled so fucking much that they're now living in the basement with their mama, which isn't always a bad thing. I'm just, it's an analogy, people, okay? Jobless, in debt, having to go to court over something, and you're over here and you're getting to move to a new house, and you're going on vacations overseas, and you're with your new exceptional emperor. Is that kind of energy, and it just eats you alive, kind of the way it was eating you alive. We're like, here I am over here really like, how the fuck does this motherfucker out here just spreading their seed everywhere and like act like not like, and I've got to sit here and be introspective. And that really helped put you into that hermit mode. Actually, I want to say that probably helped put you in that hermit mode, because you're like, yeah, fucking no. Like you were in the energy of, I don't want to. No, not going to. You didn't go out there. But why, when I first picked it up after it was over here, did it feel like somebody has already caught you in their purview? We're gonna ask. We're gonna ask about this Emperor, the King of Cups. We're gonna ask about this motherfucker. Like, have they already seen you? How are they coming in? What's happening? We're gonna move this over here because we already know this motherfucker is. Okay. And I gotta say, for those where it's like this person's gonna come back in after they've done this shit and put you in that energy where you had to watch, they haven't stopped watching you. But I'm gonna go back to the overall major energy of this is for those where like somebody that you was in your circle already. We might have to do another reading tomorrow for those where someone actually is, because I get the energy of some people where like you may have never been in a relationship or you may never have been in something, but they are coming in. Like there's like the person you thought does come in kind of thing. I might have to make that because this one they're heavily focusing on the fucker that's been stalled. Tell us about the King of Cups. Oh my God. This motherfucker. First off, you're going to be very attracted to him. Holy shit. And I think that's the reason why I got this energy of like, is this person already seeing? Look at how this motherfucker looks. Oh my God. Like, I mean, he is enjoying the view. We're just going to say that. He's enjoying the view. Tell us more about the King of Cups, please. Okay. So I'm going to address you first really quick with this King of Cups energy that comes in. Because there's this sense that you might try to hold back because you feel like this person, there's no way this person doesn't have a lot of options. And I know we've heard all these readings before, but this is coming through. We've got the 4 of Chalices, right? With the 7 of Chalices. 4 of Cups with the 7 of Cups. First off, this 7 of Cups, there's a lot of passion there. There's a lot of like indulgence. And that can be something with the 7 of Cups as well, as like, you know, having all these things and not really knowing what and trying all the different cups. And there's like this indulgence that comes across like with it. And you've got, because of that, like you got the two down here, you got the 2, fuck me, candles. Jesus. But you don't necessarily have the red string of fate, which that may be where your confusion is. That may be where your hesitancy comes from. And he does not give lip service, and whoever this is does not like, they're very articulate and in tune with how they're saying things, and they only say what they fucking mean. But their level of intensity, that's where that smoldering came from, where they don't lose eye contact, they mean it, they want to take you out. Like they're not gonna not pursue you. But it's not the stupid fuckery you're used to, and it's like the energy might have you a little like, okay. And I've been getting this for quite some time as well. We've got the King of Wands and the 8 of Wands. Now, the King of Wands is knowing exactly what the fuck you want. I picked up on that period already. He's laser focused on you while you over here wondering why. Come on. And it's like, if you can't I get this sense that if you can't figure out if he has a lot of options, you kind of fill stories in where he had to have for a long time had a lot of options. Like, because this is almost like questioning whether or not you're just an option, or if he's like, he's not giving the same lip service. He's definitely stable. This king is. And it's funny, they keep giving me king energy for this person consistently, which tells me he has a mastery over his emotional realm. He's gotten a mastery over his desires. He doesn't spread himself thin. Knight of Wands, maybe. King of Wands, I fucking know what I want. I'm not stupid enough to sit there and try to go. I don't do that shit anymore. I know what I'm looking for. I know what I desire. And when I find it, I go after it and I focus on that. And I put all my passion into that. I don't spread myself thin like that. There's a level of intensity. Take a look at the way that this is done. He's completely naked. He's got his crown, his cape, everything. She's completely naked. Like, it's going to feel intense because this person is going to be vulnerable. They do have a level of emotional maturity, and they are going to make it very known that they are interested in you. There's a lot of passion and there's a lot of chemistry. Jeez. Look at that sturdy stance. I don't know why they pointed that out, but they were like, look at this. Like, it's almost like she's leaning in towards and then cupping him and pulling him in. Look at his stance. He's not going anywhere. But look at how loving this embrace is. It's like mm-hmm. But funny thing is, it feels sometimes when something can feel this intense, when like, they're not going to delay. Okay, we got the Eight of Wands, which is a very fast moving energy. When you have somebody that is willing to, it's almost like very willing to be vulnerable at a fast pace, willing to show their true emotions. Like, I think you're used to having to pull that shit out of other people. And so there is a level of, when you experience that type, it feels intense because of these things. Like, this is fast moving energy, very fast moving energy. I think, and since the Eight of Wands is about also communication, it's like they're willing very much so to express this to you. But that feels like once the two of you connect. Does that make sense? Like the initial contact is they choose their words. Like, you can trust if they say something, they fucking mean it. They don't have the lip service. They're not going to do the frou-frou stupid stuff to get attention, right? Because if they do that stuff to try and get your attention right away, then you know exactly what their goal is. They don't really want that deeper connection with you. They want attention. And their ego tells them that getting that type of attention means they are loved, or means that their hole is filled. That that's somebody trying to fill a hole. This person doesn't have a hole. He doesn't have an empty cup. He's not expecting you to fill his cup up. Okay? So it's I feel like there's a fact. You think it's fast development. You think it's fast, and hence holding back some. Because last motherfucker, you couldn't even get him to go places this person can go. And it feels, when you have a soul level connection, you can go deep faster, and you feel like you know them better on an energetic level than you did the other one. Because there was an attachment. It was more ego and stuff, right? Like codependency, like there's attachment there. Attachment isn't the same as connection. Okay. Sorry, I know we always go for a really fucking long time. I'm sorry, guys. Let me see here. Where are we at? 222. Oh, good, Terry. Okay. Oh, that's so hot. Which one? Which part? Right? Like, there's a lot of this. I'm like, damn, dude. Okay. My heart, I have never felt so good. Good, Minishka. Fuck. And here's the thing. There's a lot of stuff that we may have been at some point for us, but if we evolve beyond it and that whatever that other thing is doesn't, it's no longer in alignment with us. And so while our soul's ready to go on, our humans like, but, and that's where we experience the pain. Oh, I don't know if that was meant to come out like that, but okay. I be questioning shit. Have you noticed that every time something pops out, I'm like, no, and I'm like, you may be questioning a lot. Oh, you shitting me? This is good. Okay. See, when they paint it like this, I'm like, well, I might be interested, spirit. It's my human that wants to go, I believe it when I see it, kind of thing. Or my human will be like, yeah, I know. In 2 years, right? You're telling me now, but it's going to happen in 2 years. Like, that's the way it feels, right? Does yours ever do that? Like, that's what mine does. So here you are, a little bit hesitant, not sure yet. There's a full cup. There's a full cup. There's a lot of passion, a lot of indulgence, but you're still questioning maybe? Like, okay, is this is this? I don't see the red string of fate yet. They just pointed this out, bitches. Okay, 8 of Wands. Remember I said, like, this is going to develop. It's going to feel intense. It's going to develop fast. What the fuck is at the bottom of this? Oh, I don't know. Maybe some bluebirds. Okay, spirit. Okay. And what's over here? I feel it's one of those things where they're saying that's why you're hesitant, but they're trying to give you all this information they done already said. Here, Hierophant. Like, this person has exactly what it is that you deserve. And to boot, they really, they see your worth when the other motherfucker couldn't. And sometimes we don't realize that we have fucked up or that just how great someone is until they're shining in their light. And we're like, damn, maybe I was wrong. But yeah, so here you are hesitant and they're over here trying to tell you 2 of fucking cups. You know what I love is how the level of intensity may have you questioning there briefly, and then you may question a little bit like, but why me, when you feel like this person could have a million other people, like because they are so laser focused on you. You're like, I don't get it, but they're here to reflect back to you who you truly are. So as deeply as you have come to love yourself and or at least know your worth, they're reflecting back to you your worth, which can be daunting. There's people who are out there giving all the time and they do for others and they have the kindest heart and they have a hard time sometimes receiving because it's beyond just the feeling like they know that they're worth it, but it's overwhelming when it happens. Like when you finally get to receive after having not for so long and having been the giver, it can feel very overwhelming, which was one of the other readings, that overwhelming feeling. But they're talking about Two of Cups. Like, this is indulging, this is sharing, this is exchanging, this is both people showing up, full cup, ready and willing to give. And I just keep hearing very intimate. Like, it's very intimate. Four of Wands. This is a love that you can build from. Four of Wands. Four of Wands. This Four of Wands is much like the Ten of Wands, in my opinion. You see how stable this motherfucker is? He's helping to carry the weight. He's able to help with the burden of life. Like, he's willing to carry his own weight in this relationship. You don't have to do it alone anymore in relationships. Likewise, here's this one. Look how both of them are engaged now in this. So I look at the four legs like the four pillars, the four wands, right? You're on a swing. How do you do the deed on a swing? I don't know. But when both people have they're firmly planted and grounded in that, it somehow manages to work. When both people have a full cup, it just somehow manages to create the beautiful foundation for something to grow. And both of these reflect coming together at a soul connection level. To me, because the Two of Cups can be like all kinds of soul connections. It's a little different than the Lovers. The Lovers is a larger major arcana, it's major arcana. Two of Cups is like, it's that coming together. Yeah, Jesus. But then you was asking over here about the red string of fate. Like, you couldn't see it. Both of y'all got a candle burning. You both got fucking emotions, but you're trying to figure out why me, though. Like, you get a little hesitant because you're like, I don't know. I don't know. But here's a reminder about Four of Cups. Four of Cups is when you've been sitting looking at the existing shit, like over here, and you're like, yeah, fucking no. Because you walked away with the Eight of Cups, right? You walked away from that shit. You're like, and you sat out intentionally because there wasn't nothing that was feeling right for you. So with the Four of Cups, remember in traditional tarot, or Rider-Waite specifically, the cup comes out of the sky. Like, you've literally put yourself out and withheld because whatever the fuck has been in front of you, not fucking worth it. It's not even been worth it enough to come out of your fucking shell, out of your hermit mode. And so Four of Cups is also, even though there's that level of resistance, it is the introduction of something else other than what you've been seeing. And you may not recognize or see it right away. That there's forces beyond your control intervening. Okay? Because we have the Judgment card. That red string of fate that you weren't sure you were seeing, and you didn't understand how they knew or could be so focused on you and would choose you over the others. It's because of this. Because that's what they've been looking for. You don't become the king, the emperor, king of chalices, king of wands. You're Hierophant, looking for the Hierophant. Like, I'm just saying, can we just say, like, this person is answering their own inner call. They feel drawn. They've been looking for this specific type of a connection. Hence why they are laser focused on you, why they're not spreading their energies thin. That's not what they fucking want. They've been wanting this. And the Judgment card is all about answering that call. But it's also about, this is called the red string of fate, but it is. It's two people that are connected, that are bound with the potential for longevity, for family, for, and then on top of that, we've got the Two of Pentacles. Now is just literally the choice. You don't see this coming. The feminine's back is 2, right? Here she is focusing on the North Star. That's what you cultivate in hermit mode. Is you've got your lantern and the northern your the Merkaba, that star that lights your path is in the hermit's lantern, and you're focused on that. You're focused on your truth, your path. You know what I'm saying? And this is the 2 of Pentacles in this particular deck. There's a level of like clearing and cleansing that has occurred because, and I don't know why they want me to really put this out there. You see this? Like, it's like these things are burning and wafting, and these are herbs. I feel like this is like a cleansing that has occurred, right? And this person's coming in. Like, there's a decision that's made. So, okay, with that, hold on. We break this shit down because here's the thing about when we go to other tarot readers. It's really great to hear something within 10 minutes. You've got somebody that's going to be watching you and somebody that's going to be doing this but you got a new person coming. It sounds very like it placates the ego. So you may be like, I don't buy it. You come here, you hear the message again, and I fucking break it down for you. We go so in depth because it's like, no. Let's have a conversation about this. Let's see how this actually can play out. Let's get into the fucking details where you can see this can actually be something. So, sometimes I think that we hear the shit outside of there, and because it can, if you're not in the right energy and you're not in alignment with yourself, it can play on your own ego, and you can buy into shit that ain't fucking true. And I know we've all heard shit and readings and stuff like that. Like, and it was no more fucking true than the man in the moon, right? So this is like, but you probably have heard this before, and they're like going, no, we're serious. Come here, sit down. Let's have a conversation. Let's break this down so you realize. Let's give you the details of why you should be open to this individual. Let's talk about why you might be feeling a little left out, and how come you've been thinking recently about, I wonder if this other person's gonna. No, you want to know why they have to sit here and watch? Because of this. Like, let's get into the nitty gritty of this, right? To help you understand. And I can't shake. Wow. The ball is going to be in your court. So for the bitches who say, because suddenly today y'all are my bitches, okay? Where I'm from, that's a loving term of endearment until it's not. Okay? Me and my girlfriends, you're a heifer, hooker, bitch, like we joke around like that. So that's a loving term of endearment. For those who have said they've seen 222, 2, 2, 2. So here it is. You both are going to be brought into the connection with one another, into each other's life. You're both going to be able to recognize you showing up with a full cup. They are going to make the choice and decision to approach you. But then the ball is in your court. 2 of Wands. What are you going to do about it? What is your action going to be? Because yet again, in this one, here he is, pouring his little heart out. When this motherfucker shows up in emotional maturity and vulnerable as fuck and completely focused on you, what are you going to do? Are you going to sit here in the energy of disbelief? Are you going to stay in the confusion? Are you going to allow yourself to believe that because it was too easy with this fucking person? That's how it's supposed to be. That's not too easy. There was nothing easy about the 2 of you showing up vulnerably. Both of you bitches had to fucking go through a lot of shit to get to the place where you could show up like that. There was nothing easy about it. Quit thinking this was too easy, because it's not. But you both are showing up in integrity. And that's how it's supposed to fucking be. It doesn't mean there won't be bumps in the road or there won't be things that you won't like about each other and you can't stand the fact that he fucking chews with his mouth. Or what are you doing? Like, that shit will still exist. But the shit show you have allowed yourself to indulge in for pretty much since you've been able to date, it was never meant to be that fucking hard. And it was only that fucking hard because you didn't know how to fucking choose you based upon your worth, to uphold your boundaries. So, quit assuming it was so easy. Really? It was easy for you to get to this place? No, it fucking wasn't. So are you going to stay in this little, like, I don't know, kind of energy? Like, I'm not quite certain, when Spirit's like, here you go. Are you going to remain hesitant when Spirit brings something right in front of you, exactly what you fucking wanted, exactly what you were desiring all along, and you started making decisions according to what it is that you knew you wanted and what your worth was, and you started exercising and you started fucking healing it. You had to sit there and watch everybody else get what you wanted. And even if they weren't getting it, they were at least not alone. And they had companionship and attention from people and all the fucking things that don't fucking matter. Okay? You stepped out of that shit on purpose for a fucking reason. Right? So now the ball is in your court. Take a look at her. Let's take a look at her, okay? Let's get a little close. She's interested. But do you think she's making eye contact? No. She's looking down. You see her like playing with her heart chakra? Like, we do this a lot. Like when we're like, have you ever noticed that when we're trying to determine how we feel about something, we may do this? People will tell. Their, you know what I'm saying? Here she is. I'm gonna move that light so it can focus. She's touching him, but she's not fully in it. Look at his hands going. He's pouring his heart out to her. He's laying it all out. And she's like not looking at him. She wants to believe it. She wants to feel it, but she's not, like, she has to make a decision. She's got to make a fucking decision. You know that you're interested in this. What are you what? It's okay if you're taken aback a little bit by this, because anytime we encounter and engage with and experience something new, there's an adjustment period. But yeah, you don't see this, but the ball's going to be in your court once this shows up. Are you going to let this in? And I think that's what she's contemplating. Are you ready? Are you going to let this in? Or are you going to go back to this 9 of Wands energy with your guard? Anything else, Spirit? I swear to God, like, so many fucking cups and wands. The majority of all the cards are either the cups suit or the wands suit. This is passion, chemistry, emotion. This is really, that's where the overwhelm is going to come from. We want one more with this. This is going to be one choice and path in life that will be amazingly successful. I go on this tangent. Everything's mostly, with the exception of the 2 of Pentacles, we've literally got a million fucking cups and wands cards, period. We got the 4 of Cups, 7 of Cups, the King of Cups, the 2 of Cups, and then we've got like the Two of Wands, the Four of Wands, the Ten of Wands, the King of Wands, the Eight of Wands. Like, Jesus fucking, what the fuck? Six of Wands, the victory after a hard-won battle. After, like they're training in the Five of Wands. It's chaos and it's uncomfortable and it's confusing and you're battered and bruised, but you come out successful. Six of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. A new path. Like, this is the one path. This is finally a path. Not only does it create a whole new trajectory for you to walk in your life, this person coming in will, because the two of you are going to be walking down this path together, if you so choose. Because here's the thing, whoever they're trying to bring in, they're trying to bring in because you're wanting something more permanent, stable, and higher level. Here, fine. And they're saying, so when the two of you come together, when these two energies come together, there's a desire to walk a new path together. And beyond a desire, it just will happen. And so the two of you may have been walking these paths, and I'm just going to say that I think that by coming together, because this is the Ten of Wands, like, this is stability. Four of Wands, like, this is literally like you two are in it together. Something, a new path appears because it's no longer two people walking their own way. And when they come together and they merge, their lives merge, a new path just forms. A new path in life. Ace of Pentacles. Look at how fucking happy and content. Like, by default, because of this, there's a lot of elements that are going to change in your life. And that may be where this is the 180 that we've picked up on some other readings, is it's a 180. It's a pivot in life. The coming together will impact how y'all move forward. So, but it feels like, I just want to say this is one of those, this path will be very successful. This coming together and this new path that you two will take together has a lot of success. We're going to leave it there. Because I feel more than anything of, like, rather than, I feel like maybe a lot of what we've said before in some of the other reads, maybe how this is coming in, may be more of the approach and like when and blah, blah, blah. This is more of like, let's have a conversation. Because somehow you're still aware in your mind that you hold resistance, which is the reason why this motherfucker can't come in, and something's been laid in their path. So they have to focus on that. And whatever that is will also shoot off fireworks for you to see. Red flag, red flag, red flag. Like, and they won't let you see that until this comes in. This person may eventually try to pop up in your life or your awareness again, but whatever it is, they're keeping him or them at bay, so that doesn't cloud you or pull anything old back up when this new one, this emperor, this king comes in. And just as a reminder, passion and romance await. That's why we have so many wands. You know, sometimes we get attached in the past because there was a lot of passion and we really wanted that, right? But it would fizzle. Because that was all that there was. This is not like that. And that may also be a part of why you're like, I'm a little confused. I'm not really sure, because you're in, like, this is like very indulging and you're a little bit like, I don't know, because there's so much passion. But they're like, hey, it has all these other elements too. Can we please take a look at this? Like, the idea and notion that you can't have that level of chemistry or passion with somebody without it being false. Like, just because something's vanilla doesn't mean that it's stable or right. But this is going to, and I kept trying to feel, and I gotta be honest with you. This person, you are going to come up on their radar somehow. And I cannot get past, not only, I feel like this is dual because it landed in the middle, remember? And remember, when something is in the middle and there's an even number of cards on each side, now it's lopsided, but before, this landed face down between the two piles, the old and the new, right? And for me, that means that it's an energy that crosses both sides, that's connected to both. And so to me, it says not only is the other person going to be able to watch, but you may have been watched. Look at how oblivious she is. Again, out here not communicating. Again, sword is down, not talking to anybody, not expressing anything to anybody, just doing their thing. Right? Or there's been communicate. They can indicate there's not been any kind of communication with this person. So if you've had somebody recently like reach out to you and like they're talking to you, to me, if they're going to throw this out, it feels like it hasn't happened just yet, but they're saying something to you because it's about to. So this person, but it feels as if I can't get away from that feeling like they somehow are very aware of you before they ever approach you. Because again, Two of Pentacles, he's approaching, her back is turned. She doesn't even see this coming. She's been focused on her North Star. So there may be an element of you reaching this person's awareness and them having seen you in some capacity before they ever say something to you. This could even be that even when you're out with friends and they may have been at the same place you were at, and so they were able to watch you interact with people and things like that. And because they are connected vaguely to some other people, there might have been a couple of times this person may be completely not on your fucking radar, but you're on theirs, is what I want to say. I'm trying to figure out if it's like, I feel like I'm asking like, how long have you been on the radar? I'm sorry, guys. This is what I do. It feels too varying because they're giving me instances where like they may have come across you a long time ago. And again, because nobody was aware, like they've somehow gathered a bit of an understanding. But they're also showing me somebody who literally watches you throughout the night, like if you're out with friends or something. And they just love the way that you carry yourself and the way that you interact with people. So I feel like it's going to vary. I'm trying to find out if this is like, but it feels too, like they're giving me too, like what seems like opposite visions, like I'm like, okay. So apparently the important piece is they're aware of you prior to their approach. Enough that they're focused on you. I feel like it's worth approaching you. Okay. All right. I hope that made sense to you all. Any questions? I I love you too, Mishka. And Terry, you're right. I like that. I like the confirmation because I'm picking up on an energy, guys. So I'll just start. Sometimes I get so I can feel and sense the energy, and they take me on a ride through it, and they give me like visuals and things like that, and I'm trying to relay it to you. And so the cards come out as like a confirmation, like, yep, that you hit it, and it helps me because when you're a reader, you're like, am I navigating this right? Sometimes it just is nice, but it helps you all. So sometimes I get ahead of myself. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like I just, and I can do that. I've had readings where I've pulled maybe 2 cards and did a 30-minute read because all I need is like an introduction into the energy, and then I can just kind of like go in it, like, but it is nice when things come back, like, exactly, this is exactly what we mean. Yes. This is exactly what we're, so. Right? Well, and sometimes I get irritated, guys. I know you've heard it. I'm like, I wish I could go faster. And I'm always a longer reader. I have had, like, especially in the beginning, people used to get like maybe a 20-minute read when I did the live tarot readings. And so it's one of those things where it's like, I can go faster. And sometimes, but when, like, sometimes it's nice to just play in the energy because there's very specific details. And the number one thing is that stops us from being able to have things unfold for us the way that we would truly desire is our human. Because our human will throw up like all kinds of like, but what about, and I don't know, and I don't believe this, and it's like, fuck me. And I know you've heard this, me say it a million times, but like sometimes my soul's like, bitch, we going. Like, she will drag my human kicking and screaming because you in the fucking wet. I don't know what your problem is, but it's amazing, like the Chariot card, when your human and your higher aspect, your human and your soul, whatever you want to fucking call it, your etheric self, are in tandem. That's when you're the magician. When they are on the same motherfucking page, you gonna make moves and nothing can stand in your way. There's such clarity then. So sometimes it's about alleviating and satisfying and helping that human aspect to understand what you're being led. Why does your intuition say this? And what's really going on? It helps you to fucking let go and just allow things to unfold, right? And that's important. One of the things that I didn't, when I was going like in my 20s, because y'all know I'm older, that's when Eckhart Tolle, whatever his name, was really first came out and really big. And I would read his book. I read his first book. I bought his second book. I didn't read it because I gotta be honest with you. He explained things much like I say. Sometimes we'll come across a tarot reading. It's 10 minutes and it tells you this, this, and this, and this is going to happen. And sometimes that can elicit a lot of resistance within you because you're like, what the fuck, and like you just don't believe. And it's like, So, but like he would explain things in his book, right? And intellectually it makes sense. But I just didn't understand. Like I overanalyzed. I couldn't let go because it's like the idea of like your thoughts are not you and you just need to watch them and let them go. And it's like I was too wrapped up in my emotions and stuff like that, and everything, all my understanding wrapped up into my thoughts because I was programmed that way, because I had healing to do, because I had traumas. At no point did he, I felt like he ever made it make sense for me. Like in theory, it sounds really great. Do you know how many times I would like think crazy thought and I'm okay, no, stop, and just let it happen. And you would just watch it. And it was like, I put so much energy in trying to stop myself from identifying with those thoughts and from like, just letting them pass through and not, like, I didn't know how to detach. I didn't know how to let go. I didn't know, like, how, motherfucker, you didn't tell me how, right? And so when you have sometimes these readings and they tell you do this and this, and it's like, it's hard for your human to just let go, like ground it in for me, make it fucking make sense. All it did reading those books was make me spin my wheels in a different fucking direction. I felt like somebody was constantly talking over me and I couldn't ground it in. I didn't understand. How does that apply in my life? That's why you're going to see me try to give you as many like analogies as possible on how something can plant so it doesn't sound so frou-frou in the fucking air, right? Like help me understand how this applies to me, please. You know how many times you get a reading and you just want, because you know to a certain degree, right, that reading is accurate because you probably had something like that come through for you, but then you're like, but I don't understand. But how? That is your human trying to grapple with that fucking shit and not just being able to like make it make fucking sense. And too often we just want to abandon the human self, which is what it felt like, that those human aspects of myself. When I was reading Eckhart Tolle, and he may have gone into it in the later books, but it didn't do me fucking good because those books came out years later, right? And there's other people that got it. They were in a place in a space where they could get it. And that happens. He helps so many people. He's amazing. But it didn't fucking do shit for me. And there's a lot of people that are like me. Spirit can't just tell me something. Fucking break it down for me. Help me understand how this applies to me, how it plays out in my life. Like, make it make sense. Make it so I can chew it up, right? Like, so, yeah. It's not about, and right, it's not about, like, that's integration. My human aspect is here because I'm supposed to have a human fucking experience. Like, how do you detach from something and not abandon the human aspect in the process? Like, none of it made sense to me. It just, the how was missing. The what does it look like? The personalization of things. It just sounded like a bunch of words up here. And it sounded great, but I didn't understand. And so when I do these readings, this is how I go. I just, we like, because do you know how many years I wasted because it just didn't land? It didn't make sense. I couldn't, my human was too wrapped up in things. And it's like, and at no point do I ever remember him saying, well, the best way to do that is to heal through some of this other stuff. Again, may have been addressed in other books. I bought the second one. I never fucking read it. Never did. So, and my goal is to help you understand and to really hone in on the message that Spirit's trying to give you. Because that's really the biggest problem. When we don't understand why our intuition, like we're too much up in our head. Because I don't care how much I detach from and just quiet my brain. Usually when Spirit tries to give me and people are like, well, it'll make sense if you just quiet your brain and the messages will come in and it'll make sense. Guess what? Messages came in. I quieted my brain. But because my brain was still in the same thought process and pattern as it was before, nothing fucking happened. Sometimes we got to unpack shit so we can move through things easier. Okay? So we're going to get into the nitty gritty to help you do that. Like, I'm just saying, this is my experience, and I'm here to help people who have had the same fucking kind of experience so that you don't wait until you're nearly fucking 40 and finally getting to this space. And I did this. I started going through this process in my 20s, and then shit happened in my 30s, and it's like I fucking fell off the wagon, or I backtracked, I backslid, and it's like I had to redo it all over again. It felt like I incurred a new trauma, and it was like, I've been here before. And I started remembering in my later 30s, I was like, I've been through this process before. Why didn't it stick? Why didn't I integrate that at such a deep level? So I've been around this block a time or two. Like, I've been in that place where I feel like I wasted years of my life. I can see now where I was going through the healing process and where I was coming to these realizations and where I wasn't, but I didn't know how to embody it. So let's stop you from having to wait until, And I have like older viewers as well, but I have a really good portion of people that are much younger than me that watch my videos. And so let's have a conversation about that. Let me help you from wasting any more time. Anywho, that's true. That's true. Anywho, so we had a very select few guys show up. Funny thing is, people will watch my videos like it ain't a grand amount, right? Um, but like we'll have four here, and then by the time things are done, 50 people have watched it. A lot of people that watch the videos don't whatchamacallit, subscribe. They're not usually in the live chat and stuff. So but anywho, okay, so it is 12:30. All right, well, we spent a long time, so I hope that was beneficial, and I will be again still at some point, hopefully coming on and doing some live readings. So, alrighty, I hope everybody has a good day. Thank you for joining.